And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a brand new day and a brand new stream indeed with the LG Ultragear TEC Gauntlet Season 2, powered by W Black and AMD Ryzen rating. It's going to be your boy Aggressive once again back on the analyst desk, as I always this time around, joined by none other than the Crispy Crips himself, and of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Universe. How are you guys feeling about this matchup as we head on down over onto today's fixture, starting off with you, Crips?
I'm feeling really excited today. This is the Clash of the Titans aggressive. It's Global Esports versus Team XO. Two of the strongest teams in the entire country. Both of them reside in the top three right now. And considering the amount of fat W's Global Esports has pulled in the last week, they can definitely be called as the number one team in the country. Unfortunately, they're not on the top of their leaderboard. Are they? We'll find out. This is their chance to get up there. Team XO, on the other hand, they have been looking a little iffy to say the least, but then these guys are still a very formidable opponent. And when Global Esports and Team XO go up against each other, there is only and only one thing that you can expect, and that is carnage. The best teams in the country up against each other. Get some popcorn, guys. This is going to be a
Yep.
lengthy battle.
Yeah, when you consider that the side of Team Exo have actually taken down the side of Team Valor as well, the team that GE lost to previously, I think they're the ones who are going to be contesting to take down GE a little bit more and send them home packing, or it could be GE being able to retake their throne as the number one spot in our entire region. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be a story for another time. Not just yet, because we've still got a little bit of a ways to go, because we need to consider what players are now tearing through the entire tournament as well as we head on down over to the MVP standings in the universe. I want your thoughts here. Tell us about these guys on screen, and it seems the Knight Rider. He made his own cameo here as well.
I mean, this is an MVP standings that we knew that as time passed by was going to definitely change. We had Bond F over here, we had Ghost over here, but two people have retained their spot, and it's SK Wow and Paradox, and these two guys have been quite the performers. But right now, we're going to talk about the one guy who's going to be performing in the server today, and he's over here as well. He took his time to get up here, but he's here finally, and that is none other than SK Rossi. He is, well, I don't really need to tell anything about him. He is one of the craziest players that I think this country has produced. 202 kills, 138 deaths, and an ACS of 291, the highest there is in that list of four. And today, he's just going to keep adding on to his tally. Whether he's going to go to the number one position, I mean, it's not a surprise if he does, but I'm pretty sure he's looking forward to it. And this time, I really hope that Global Esports have taken control of the situation, what was lost the last time against Valor, because EXO, I mean, if Valor were a challenge, I think EXO is going to be 3 times the challenge that Valor were.
Completely. Because when you consider what EXO had done to the side of Team Valor, it was a really hard fight, but at the very end of it all, it was Team EXO taking a very convincing 2-0 win against the side of Team Valor. Will they be able to do a 2-0 against the side of GE is going to be the real question. But at the same time here, ladies and gentlemen, who is now at the top of the throne? We really do need to see, and who is the side of GE trying to dethrone here? So let's head on down over to the group standings and see the hierarchy of the points. Because honestly, at this stage here, Crips, I believe that Team EXO, yes, they're undefeated, but at the same time, Global Esports, this is their chance to take that number one position back for themselves.
Yeah, if Global Esports beat Team XO right here, that will be a guaranteed 2 points in their bag, which will get them to 9, and that will put them above Team XO right now. It's surprising to see teams like Valor and Force One Esports above Global. Global has been, and not just in my opinion, in basically everyone else's opinion as well, been considered as the top team of the country, but now they're 3 spots down, and that's a little unbelievable. This is their chance to equalize that thing.
Yeah, Global, they could have done it just a little bit more better. They could have just been a little bit more consistent, but this is the chance that they needed to prove themselves once again and showcase to everyone that, hey, we're still the best team in the entire country, and it doesn't matter who we lose out to initially, we're going to be able to come back even strongly. But at the same time, before we talk about the side of Global Esports, we need to talk about the rising juggernauts themselves, the side of Team Exo. So let's head on down over onto their team spotlight, because honestly, these guys don't need an introduction, but at the same time, Universe, you need to introduce them, my man, because if you don't introduce them, that's an insult.
Yeah, definitely. This is a team that we've looked at for a while now. They've made pretty much the roster stayed a little stable since Excali, Sai, Blackhawk, and Wimp have stuck together, and now the addition of Ghost as well. This is a team that has jumped a few orgs, and now they look like they want to be stable. They want to be stuck to a place where they can call home, and they want to dominate from that place. And they're looking to do that right now. This is the team to beat because they're unbeaten in this group, and Global Esports are potentially probably the only team that can beat them at this point. And today it is their chance to show. Team XO, they've got the firepower in the hands of Excali and Ghost. They've got the mind power in the heads of Blackhawk and Sai, and they've got the support of Wimp all around the place as well. So this is a team that is full rounded. They've got completely, star-studded players. They've got players who are individually at their best, whereas as a team as well. But I think this is their time. They had a few ups and downs. They were trying to settle into how exactly they're going to play out in their roles. And we had a few role changes coming with Sai coming in from the Jet. Now he's decided to that he sometimes plays a controller, he plays even a sentinel, he goes around whatever he can. And Blackhawk, Wimp are also there to support Excali and Ghost to be the spearheads of the team. So EXO definitely a team that needs to be considered as a force. And global esports, they need to stay on their toes today, because if they're not, then it's going to be another one on their backs.
Yeah, that is for sure. But when you consider the side of Team EXO, they're not really an underdog in this story. They're actually, like, you cannot even say this is a rags to riches story for them, because they already had the riches. They're a team that had performed so admirably every single time, no matter what situation they were in. But in a way, they are the nobles now being crowned the new kings this time around. But at the same time, we really do need to see who is the star player coming on down through from their side. So let's head on down over onto the player spotlight for the side of Team EXO, powered by AMD Ryzen Radeon. And it's none other than the big brain Astrobane himself, known as Blackhawk. And now, Crips, take it all away, my man. I think that you got the best words for this guy.
I mean, he's more of a bodyguard and less of a Blackhawk. This guy keeps his team so safe. They can do whatever they want. He buys them the space. He gives them all the freedom they need. And when they know that Blackhawk is clearing all the angles with his Astra utility and blocking off the other ones where they don't want to fight with his Nebulas, they can just roll right in and play with all the momentum that they want to maintain. They can slow it down as well. Yeah, that's something that Sai and Excali specialize in. If you want to go for a slow and methodical hold, then Excali and Sai will, just stay at the back. Wimp will also protect them. But the moment you see Blackhawk is lining up his stars, you know something explosive is about to happen. That's the calm before the storm.
Yeah, literally pretty much, because she just places the stars, she's watching from the skies, and as soon as one call comes down through from the side of Sai as he's holding outside with his own killjoy, you know for a fact that Blackhawk is gonna pounce on that opportunity and get the Nebulas down, get the Sugs down, and also get the stuns as well to take down his opposition just a little bit, so he can give his team that tiny little bit of space they need to go in for that beautiful crispy headshot. But that's just the side of Team X, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's talk about the Fallen Kings here, the ones who are trying to get back their throne as we head on down over to the team spotlight for the side of Global Esports and Universe. Man, I don't know what to say about these guys anymore, because they have won it all, and now this is their chance to bring back the glory that they had previously.
Yeah, most certainly. Global esports have been pretty much, one of the most dominant teams in the country. And they have also been, a team that everybody looks at with fear. You look at these guys, they just absolutely terrorize you on the server. And this team is one that, I think teamwork is something that is synonymous with global esports. We might have individual plays that come in, but the way that they execute these plays that they are very comfortable with, they practice day and night. The lineups of Kappa, the big brain plays of Breach and Jet combo of Hellranger and SK Rossi, setting him up for success. Lightning fast, holding a site by himself, and along with him his skills, who keep switching on roles. They play between the sentinel, initiator, and controller role, and they just wreak havoc wherever it is. While Kappa and Hellranger, they've got their experience in SK Rossi. Well, he's the pure firepower over there. And yeah, global esports, I mean, this is a team that we don't need to introduce, but because at the minute you look at that name or you look at even one player, you know what these guys can bring to the table. And today, hopefully, they are going to be bringing the same thing that we've all seen them do and expected of them in the last few months. And yeah, let's see if they're going to be able to take on EXO today.
Yeah, honestly, this is their chance to try and bring everything back here. But at the same time, let's just see who's going to be bringing it in the real pain coming on down through from the side of Global Esports as we head on down over to the player spotlight powered by AMD Ryzen Radeon. And it's going to be none other than the big brain IGL, Breach main, Omen main, Phoenix main, you name it. It's going to be Hellranger coming on down through. And Crips, walk us right through this guy. Because he doesn't need an introduction, but at the same time, just look at this. He's looking to kill you.
Yeah, he's got that intense look in his eyes, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You put this in a mugshot, and this guy definitely seems like a serial killer. Or if not a serial killer, at least he's a serial winner. This guy keeps on winning so many clutches, so many situations where his team is in, they're stuck in a bind and he gets them out. And yeah, he can play as a duelist with the Phoenix. He can be the initiator with the Breach. Sometimes he might even pick up the Sky, although that doesn't really happen that often. And if you're in split, then this guy will pick up the Omen. He has the potential to do anything and everything. And if he is stuck in a clutch situation, you can definitely say that the odds are in his favor, even though he's the one who's alone. Hellranger and Kappa are probably the two most important players that you want in a clutch situation alive because they have so much experience. It's not even funny anymore. The number of hours these guys have dumped into the game, it's ridiculous. It's easily into 5 digits.
When you consider what we normally do, we're like, okay, there's no way they're going to be able to win this 2 versus 5 situation. What can they do? Suddenly, we were talking about something else. We were trying to break down the round. We just see Hellranger pop ahead, and we're like, okay, nah, it's just one kill, a couple of exit frags. Then suddenly, 2 more bodies drop. It's going to be Kappa just coming out of nowhere. And you're like, oh my god, are they actually going to do this? 2 seconds later, they just answered the question and they just took the round. And we're just sitting there being like, why are you making our jobs as analysts so bad? But at the same time, that's how incredible that they are, ladies and gentlemen. And just as incredible as the players, we need to see exactly where this battle is going to be being held. So let's head on down over to the map video screen and see exactly where we're going to be headed. With map number 1 being split, just as you stated here, Chris, right at the very beginning, it's going to be split a little bit unorthodox, I would say, when you consider this being the first map, Haven, and then Bind. Universe, I want your thoughts about this map selection because in my eyes, I believe that this is probably much more leaning towards the side of global than we could think.
Yeah, definitely. That was going to be my first sentence, that this is leaning towards global esports more so than it is to EXO, just because of the fact that the first and second and third map, okay, I would specifically point out split just because, the way that global esports play around that map is somewhat of a, I would say it's a very interesting way that they play around it, given their aging compositions, the way they position themselves. They keep switching up roles. They put SK Rossi in every single place of the map. They put him in mid. They put him in A main. They put him in B main. They have him get those picks come in. Even if he fails, it doesn't matter because they've still got 4 players who can absolutely wreak havoc. And not to forget, Skills plays the Raze on this map, and his explosive plays are just as good as SK Rossi's, fast and quick jet players are. And not to forget, this is also a map where Kappa, not Kappa, Hellranger goes for the breach. And I think he's kind of settled into that role that I don't think I've seen anybody else play breach as well as he does. I don't even remember a team which picks up breach, just because they know that breach is an agent that requires so much coordination, so much teamwork, and you need comms of the most clearest and highest level. And global esports have established that, and that's exactly why they go for breach no matter what it is, which map. They're so comfortable with it because one, he's so powerful. His flashes are not restricted to distance. His flashes are not restricted to any walls either. And, with his aftershock and fault line as well, it allows SK Rossi to get into places where he can find enemies just completely off guard, stunned or concussed, whatever it is. And they just create complete chaos like that. And yeah, it is definitely a map pool that is going to fall in the hands of global esports. But if EXO have chosen split, I really hope that Sai has some tricks up his sleeve, because whatever tricks that he already has up his sleeve, Hell Rangers already outfolded them, looked at everything. So I really hope he has 3 sleeves under that sleeve.
That's a lot of that's a lot of layer of clothes. You'll be so
Yeah.
warm. You'll be so sweaty underneath all those layers.
They need to be sweaty this game.
There you go.
Yeah,
Have
this
to
is going to be a sweaty game, right? And okay, I read this question in chat the other day. What do you mean by a sweaty lobby? This is a more of a battle royale term that was coined, and I use it every now and then because a sweaty lobby means that these guys are trying so hard to show off their skill that they're literally sweating. That's how hard they're trying. But hey, sweaty lobbies usually equals frag hungry lobbies, and we
Yep.
kind of expect this to turn into a frag fest at some point or the other, don't we? That's what's gonna happen in
Yep.
Bind and Split. Haven could still be a little more of a tactical approach.
When you consider what could happen in Split, I believe that, of course, it's going to be the side of Team EXO having the highest possibility of losing out here, primarily because when you consider their analytical track record and the statistics, they are not that proficient on the map of Split. But at the same time, they haven't really played Split that much. So I think seen them play Split statistically about 2 or 3 times throughout this entire tournament. So I believe that they changed up their strategies. They have something a little bit more spicy. That's why taking the side of Global into this. But ladies and gentlemen, these are all just speculations. We don't really know what to expect coming on from these two teams. We could analyze something and it could be completely different. But at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be sending these two down over to the casters just because I know you guys are pumped and you guys are ready to go in to cast this. And the audience back at home, they're ready to watch this. And we're going to be back with the real shortly with the LG Ultragear TEC Gauntlet Season 2, powered by W Black and AMD Ryzen Radiant, after a short word from our sponsors.
Hey guys, welcome back to LG Ultragear presents TEC Gauntlet Season 2, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. Go ahead and scan that QR code that. Oh, it slipped away. I guess I was a little too late. Yep, you guys are going to have to be nice, snappy, and fast in order to scan that QR code and get your Red Bull cans. And you know what else is going to be snappy and fast? These players and their reflexes. It's going to be an amazing game, universe. I am super pumped. How are you feeling? Wait, that was a dumb
I'm
question. I'm pretty sure you're feeling super pumped as well, but go ahead nonetheless.
Yeah, I am feeling super pumped, and I'm just waiting for the moment where we're gonna get into the server and watch these teams go at it against each other. Because I think this is a match that all of us have been waiting for, especially in this group. Global versus EXO for sure is a match that I think a lot of people are going to be tuning in to watch today. So if your friends have been waiting for this, and they're not on the stream, then you better go and call them, guys, because this is not going to happen again and again. EXO have chosen the map pool which very heavily favors the side of global esports. So, going with split is a little bit of a thinker or a little bit of a brain scratcher, if I could say, for the side of EXO in terms of us looking at it, because we all know how good global esports are on split. It's like they formed around the meta of that breach on split, and it's very dangerous to face off against that. No matter where they start, whether they start on defense or whether they start on offense, they've always been just that good. So let's see how it goes today, Crips. But yeah, I'm not quite sure how EXO are going to be tackling this, given that all three maps seem like something that global esports will be very, very happy with.
Yeah, I think the only thing that will probably make Team EXO super unhappy is Breeze. That's probably it. Other than that, even EXO are pretty comfortable with it. So these are like very basic maps for these teams. Split and Bind, I think they're more or less similar in terms of the way these teams play. These teams have a little bit of a similar strategy in them, but Haven is probably the only map where, Global Esports can not defy themselves. They can probably differ from Team EXO and what they look like. Team EXO have this really split and default-ish kind of approach. Global
Mm-hmm.
Esports, on the other hand, they're probably not as patient as Team EXO. So they also go for those splits, but they won't wait for that long. They will try to make a push somewhere. They will try to gather information in some way or the other, whether it's on the back of a push or whether it's on the back of some initiator utility. In fact, global esports are one of those teams that really like picking up double initiators, no matter which map it is. Now, let's see if they go for it or not this time around.
Yeah, they have. I love the defensive setup of global esports because on split, it almost, just because they're so close, sometimes the map looks so vertical. There are long range fights which are very, niche. For example, it's only on A main when you're on the defender side spawn and you're attacking from the main. That's one long range fight. Or on Heaven, it's a very vertical map in terms of how you look at it. But it's still the smallest map in Valorant, right? And the way that the dynamic of it changes is that even being on defense, you can be so aggressive that within seconds you can be on the other sides, spawn, because you can just run in and there's just a small gap where exactly you meet your opponent. But on other maps, there's a little bit of a distance. For example, if you take Breeze, by the time you have a look at A main, they come like this and you are still going to be over here. There's a lot of gap, but on split it's so dynamic, it's so up close, it's up front, and agent selections like Raze is very important because of the damage that they can give as a group. The grenades, the satchels for that one, or the showstopper especially, and not to forget, we've seen a lot of showstopper plays. Like, I still remember the one that Marzel did on A main. I think
Oh
I don't
yeah,
remember which team it was against, but that
it was
ace,
against VLT, I
it was
believe.
against VLT. Marcel plays for VLT,
Oh,
Krebs.
my bad, my bad. He was playing with. Of course, that was a little dumb, but
Mm.
uh, it wasn't in Gauntlet. There was this one ace that we saw when he jumps up from A main, not A main,
Yeah,
the heavens, and he just gets four people with a showstopper, right?
yeah.
I remember that. I remember that. I forgot which team it was against. My bad. That was
That's okay. But I
yeah.
really hope that we get to see something like that today. If Skills is playing that race, and if he goes and chooses to, be let's just go YOLO, blast everybody out of thin air, then I would not have a problem watching that. I don't think anybody at home watching would have a problem with that. They would have a fun time, and I really hope that these players gives a fun time, because we're going to be heading in pretty soon, ladies and gentlemen, to the agent selection, and we hope that you are ready to see what Global Esports and EXO have in store for us today. As both of these teams are ready, they're getting into the server, and we have everybody to get going and give us some of that beautiful Valorant action today. And here it is. There are agents already being locked in. Wait, I see Kappa going for... okay, this is a little bit of a switch up. Hell Ranger's actually playing Omen. And Kappa's playing Breach. I mean, we've seen Kappa play Breach before, but... okay, this is a little bit of switch up. But only between those two.
Yeah, only on split, Hellranger prefers to play the Omen. Otherwise, he will usually stick with either the Breach or some duelist or the other.
Do I see a KO? Sai locked in. Oh, okay. Okay.
And that's what excites me the most. I have not seen a KO in such a long time. So, yeah, Sai picking up the KO definitely is something unique. Syx usually plays the Sova, but then considering it's split, why would you ever pick Sova in this map? So he could have gone for a Sky, but then, hey, KO is definitely something that the side of GE won't expect. And considering how many very good ultimates does GE have on their side, like you've got the Rolling Thunder, the Lockdown, and the Showstopper, those are some really impactful ultimates. And imagine the KO being able to destroy them instantly with his silence. That would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to agree. That definitely is something that we need to have a look at. How Sai is going to be working around this agent, because we all know that once there's a new agent introduced, we can't wait to see how exactly the pro players are going to tackle it, how exactly they put it into their comps, how they move it around, and what exactly is it that they do to put it into their team compositions in the terms that they have executes coming in. We can see now though that the Sai clearly has something on his mind. And he's getting ready, and so is the rest of EXO. But on the other side of things, we've got a very, very interesting global esports setup who are looking to attack, who are looking to defend this EXO side, who are very explosive. So let's dive right into it.
Chomp peeking towards the B entrance, and Hellranger obviously spots a lot of people right at the start. But Skills probably avoids all that danger by just falling back for now. A very fast rush coming towards the B Heavens area will definitely, cause a little bit of chaos in the global esports camp. But for now, EXO haven't even picked up any fights yet. They're just using all the utility to send all the people back into these areas where they won't be able to fight. It's finally Excali popping off with the paint shells and the pistols. Oh my goodness, this is a very good assault from the side of EXO. They've already got control of the B site, and they will be able to deny all the entry points for the side of GE, delaying the retake by quite a lot.
Indeed, they have delayed it quite a lot, and now that they're moving in for this retake in a 2v4, Lightning Fast has an idea that Sai is around here, or somebody's around here for that matter. He knows, he goes for it, and he gets a burst. Alright, SK Rossi leaving the charge towards the B side, jumps down, has an idea. What can you do, my friend? We all know how good you are, but you don't have a dash. You have just a couple of bullets, they're not going to be of any use. Wimp takes him down, and I think this round is pretty much done.
Terminated.
Oh, Lightning Fast still has a little bit of fight left in him, but Wimp, he says who's the better Killjoy. And that's it, Team EXO are able to instantly take the first round. A really simple push from mid combined with one person coming in from B main. Yeah, that person came in a little late, but then you consider how Team EXO was pushing back the forces of global esports. They never picked up any battles in the first place. They walled up the rope room immediately, used all the boombots and other utility to send Skills back while he was playing towards the staircases. And that way, EXO were able to get into as deep as B Heaven before they even picked up the first frag.
Yeah, that is true. And now, this map is all about utility, and then you can see damage and utility comes from the Raze especially. And Excali is just proving that Sai, he almost lost his head, but Ghost is there to support him. As this round and Nico, Lightning for the Kappa actually find a little bit of damage. Okay, make that one. Oh, this is turning out to be a little doable. SK Rossi needs to get that kill. Okay. EXO, they've slipped about over here, Crips, and Blackhawk is left alone in a situation where he's left to wonder what exactly happened to his teammates and how they all fell.
And both these rounds have such a different vibe, right?
Yeah.
The first round, Global Esports got into all the way towards B Heavens before they even faced a player from Global Esports. Now the entirety of team collapses upon them on mid, and they're just fighting. Barely a minute into the round, and almost everybody's dead. Now Blackhawk's just trying to sneak into the B site. Lightning Fast also probably doesn't want to fight him just yet. He will just spot him and then run away. He'll wait for global. He'll wait for SK Rossi to come and help him out. And the first stack comes through. Blackhawk, his position's been revealed,
30
but
seconds left.
needs to be a little careful over here. Can hear like
One
fast drop
enemy
down on the
remaining.
other side and isolates him. 1v1 now achieved. Fake plant wants Eskeros to come through, and he will be able to play around the smokes.
Oh, that mid push was essential from the side of Global Esports. They damaged the side of EXO as much as they could, and EXO, I don't think they expected that. You know, it's a perfect call, especially when you're in eco, especially on split, because the mid control is so important. There is no team that does not take mid control in any form of sense of any round, for that matter. Because you know, if you basically, as the name of the map says, you split the map into two parts and you get control of whatever side you want after that. And Global Esports, well, they attacked where exactly they knew they would hurt the most, and they got that damage as they needed. Now that the full weapons have come in for the side of Global Esports, Crips, this is a test for EXO.
Well, Ranger looks like he's got all the passing marks in his tests, and he kills the Vimp. While he's still on the ropes, a little bit of his foot was still up on that area. That's why he's able to connect that shot. Or utility being dumped towards the A site, but Eskerosi has let them pass, and now he will come back from
One
the ramp
enemy
area
remaining.
to catch Sai off guard. Meanwhile, Blackhawk just walks into a trap. It's just Excali left by himself. 1v5 required off of him, and maybe Lightning Fast going alone will give him the 1v4 that he needs. They're falling back. They're digital enough to not push him one by one, but he still gets that frag. Still, it's a near impossible task.
Definitely, especially with the HP he has, and I'm just gonna take this time because we know that, you know, Excali maybe a little more damage for sure, but not too much, because that judge is looking around, and I want to take this time to just point out something over here, Crips, is that you know, every time
30
we see
seconds left.
EXO go for these aggressive takes, which until now has not happened, because we know EXO is a very, very aggressive team, right? And especially when they're on the defense, they have no mercy whatsoever. They will be in your face. They will do completely anything and everything to annoy you, so that you don't even think about getting out of your spawn. That's how aggressive they are. But when it comes to the attacking side, sometimes it feels a little lacking, doesn't it? Because the side where they're supposed to be a little bit more aggressive, they actually shun it a bit, because they go for that strategic approach, which I agree with, but their star quality is that they're aggressive and, you know, they get into the faces of the opponent. Do you think that they should be doing that more, especially against a team like Global? Maybe you can't crumble to the pressure of it.
I think what they need to do is just play like they feel like playing. They shouldn't be letting Global dictate what they should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing. You should still listen to their heart, still listen to their instincts. I mean, whether or not they want to play aggressively is a question for later. At this moment, the only thing that they need to keep in mind is they can't let Global dictate how they play. They can't let them intimidate them. And as long as they control what they're doing, I think it's all going to be fine and dandy for the side of Team EXO. But it's not going to be all sunshine and roses. Global Esports will find ways to pressure them, just like they did right now. After conceding the first two rounds, Global win the third. And this was a little bit of a more important round, because in the second round, Team EXO had lost almost all their members. Only the Omen was staying alive in the form of Blackhawk to clutch that round, which means in round 3, which usually is supposed to be a bonus round, that was not a bonus round. That was a full buy round from both these teams. They both invested in Phantoms and Vandals and whatnot. Yeah. And when EXO fell, now they've lost all their economic advantage, forcing them to just relegate to Sheriffs and Spectres and whatnot.
That is true. And now that we're moving into round number 4, we've got a eco coming in from the side of EXO. They're taking control of mid again. Excali is leading the charge, so they want him to cause some damage, and that flash could allow him to, but skills! One is all he's gonna find. Ghost was down to 6 HP, heals himself up, and it's a 4v4 now. A little bit of map control having been given away over here by Global Esports, but they're okay with it, because they've got the weapons that they need to fight this one off, and just with one Spectre and maybe that Judge, which they will pick up, EXO, they are looking to defend A. Oh A, no. Crips, they're falling apart.
Exactly, they've gotten control of A ramps. They're also wrapping in from the side of the vent room. And this is a very difficult situation to defend. Hellranger trapped alone over here on the site. Luckily, he isn't suppressed yet, so he can teleport back to safety if things go wrong. But when everyone peeks him at the same time, there's very less chances that he'll be able to pull anything off. And there's also barrier ops put up, so there's no backup available for him immediately. Blackhawk now teleporting into the rope room. This is an attempt to make sure that nobody comes in from that vent room area, and they will now find out that everyone is towards the screens. Well, one of the players will be able to hit the position because of the lockdown, but Ghost, even though he's blind, he will still be able to get it. The two remaining players, at this point, Kappa must realize that they've fallen back towards Heavens. And he has no cover, so he's gonna have to fight them and hope they peek him one by one, but they definitely won't peek him one by one. They will all double peek. And that's it. Team XO. They were able to get some crucial kills. That first kill towards the vent room was probably fine. But then when SK Rossi fell towards A Rams, that was the impact frag that XO were looking for.
Yeah, I love that approach. They split up. They did not exactly do what Global Esports did, you know, going straight up, getting that mid control, putting it in right into your face. They played it strategically. I love that they're shifting around their play because they took that the mid control. As soon as they got the rope room, they knew that there was going to be a rotation to try to cover up that position from A Heaven, and then they pressured A Heaven, where SK Rossi had to look at two angles, one from the ropes and one from ramp, and that's exactly what caused his demise.
Exactly. You put a little bit too much pressure on him. You force him to extend more than he's supposed to. And eventually, even the most talented players will crumble. But this time, EXO have shifted right back to gear 1. No more fast-paced executes. No more mid-control either. They throw a little bit of utility. Force all the players of Global Esports, almost all the players of Global Esports, to play towards mid. And now they're focusing on B. Hellranger still over here alongside his trusty Raze in the form of skill. And there's quite a lot of people positioned on B Heaven as well. But Rossi gets silenced, which means he knows he can't dash away if things go wrong. And with the showstopper online, they are lucky enough to have nobody killed with that explosive. Lightning fast peeking through the storm to find one, but trains going back and forth. Unfortunately, nobody can help out Rossi, otherwise they would have been detained. And this allows Ghost to go for the resurrection without any repercussions.
Tai in a very cheeky position, good for probably all the kills on Heaven. Oh no, he fires up a little too early, misses the kills, he actually still gets one. Sai makes up for what he missed, and now Kappa left alone. This is gonna be a little bit of a difficult one for you, Kappa. Even for you, for your caliber, the 3v1 of this order is definitely difficult unless Sai, okay. I'm pretty sure Sai heard him running up those stairs, but he's still, okay, no problem. Sai, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay though. And now Kappa, he can do nothing but save, and that's gonna be the end of the round. As EXO put up number 4, and they're actually doing pretty well now, Crips, against Global Esports on Split, which we should have which anybody would expect to be Global's map. But EXO have actually done a pretty good job in attacking half so far. And this B split pretty much was exactly how the A split was, just on the other side of it. It was like a mirror, and they completely went on the other side of the mirror. And they're like, you know what? We're gonna take a book. We're gonna take a page out of Dr. Strange's book. We're gonna send Global Esports to the mirror world, and we're gonna take them out over there and never let them come back.
Okay. I mean,
I'm a Marvel fan. Sue me.
Yeah, there's literally a Marvel poster behind you. You see
I
that once
made
again
that
when you're
by
on
the way.
camera.
Yeah, I made that by the way.
We have an artist on our hands. But hey, I love the way how Team EXO are switching up their pace every now and then. A different pace for every round will mean that Global Esports are not able to predict. And oh my goodness, Kappa saw his eyes just flash dead.
Opponent killed.
4 people peeked him at once. What can you even do? That's like something straight out of a horror movie. That's a jump scare right there.
Yeah, definitely. It's a, you know, I still remember, I think I said this the last time, but when you know, that I remember that one meme. I saw it. It was some meme of Valorant itself, where you are running through a smoke and you don't know what's on the other side of the smoke, but it's an eco, so you choose to run. And then comes suddenly that music, and you see 5 players and you just get like 600 bullets spammed into your direction, just like SK Rossi is getting right.
Yeah, poor guy can't even use his blades. That's just suppressing material like that. Oh. But hey, this was supposed to be an eco round for Global Esports anyway, so if you just get a couple of kills, that would be nice, and they get more than just a couple. SK on the way to popping up. Can it be a quad? Could have been one, but it's Wimp to get the 4K instead. Oh, that became super risky all of a sudden. Imagine turning the tables just like that in a matter of a second. 3 kills in 3 seconds, and you almost got the 4K as well.
Yeah.
mean, we know that SK Rossi is famous for getting those quad kills, but this would have been something completely unexpected. Unfortunately, even if he pulled it off, the time was not in his favor, so this would have still been next to his rounds. But hey, look at the amount of economic damage they've caused to them now. You've got Coast on 1500, Excali and Sai both on 1000 credits and lesser. And this is good because the more extra have to reinvest into their weapons, the humbler their economy will be. And that makes things a little bit easier for Global Esports in the long run.
That is there. Now, I want you to look at a setup over here. They've got 4 players committed towards B. 3 of whom are looking at mid right now.
Yeah.
While SK Rossi's got the control of B main and they've cleared it off completely. They've also got a kill over here. So that opens up A, where there is Lightning Fast around the corner, but he's nowhere close to the side and they're letting that go over their grips. It looks like they want to play a retake just because of the fact that I think Kappa has his ultimate and so does Skills. And I think they want to base on that A retake, as EXO are going to be given the side for completely nothing.
Yes, that's true. But all those ultimates are not going to be of any use right now. You have the counter ultimate from Sai. And yeah, sure, this ultimate won't be around forever, but that means no Rolling Thunder available, no Showstopper available as well. And they can't even be on the site because of the lockdown. The spike one will go down. This makes things a little bit easier for Team EXO because they've just bought themselves a lot of time. But eventually, those ultimates will fade away, which means Skills now has the big bad rocket launcher in his hands. But unfortunately, he's only able to get one, and Blackhawk's cheeky position defends them from further damage. No more Rolling Thunder available as well because Kappa's been taken down, but nobody checks for Sai, and he will get some cheeky kills. Hellranger on a 1v2. You can expect this man to be ever so reliable in such situations, but he needs to isolate these tracks, and he's afraid of getting double beat. That's exactly what happens, and his fears come true. 6-1 for the side of Team EXO, and they're running away with an unprecedented lead.
I love the way that they established their post-plant positions, man. Like, it was so perfect. They knew exactly where each player had to be. Two to watch out A main. Blackhawk in that cheeky position. Even if his teammate died, he could get the trade for sure. Because that's an angle that nobody checks. Maybe 1 out of 100, yeah, but that's an angle that nobody really checks. And Sai was in a good position to find a kill coming in from heaven, while his teammate from the main was looking at that defender side spawn. So perfect execution of taking the site as well as defending it after the plant. And now they're just adding salt to the wound as Ghost takes down his Skills. And Global Esports look like they're going to lose yet another round unless they pull off a massive thrifty over here.
Exactly, and poor Skills wasn't even intending to fight. Just like Hellranger, he was just looking to gather some information. He was just looking to chill and vibe over there, but they fire through the smokes and they find Skills. Poor Hellranger did not even expect him to be on that side.
Yeah.
Their quest to gather information has just gone down the drain as they've given up the entirety of B Heavens to Team EXO. They can't even fight if they want to. SK Rossi is the piece out of that smoke. Excali will be ready. And this ego round seems like it's gonna go in EXO's favor without them taking any casualties. Which is great, right? That is the sole objective of the neutral round. Avoid casualties.
Last player standing.
Shouldn't be too big of a problem. And this is what I was talking about 2 rounds ago. Team EXO don't lose too many players. Their economy starts to build up, and now look at the amount of spare money they have in their pockets. Sai with 7,000 credits, Blackhawk with 6,200. And they've already won the half.
Yeah.
7 rounds means they have the half in their bag already. Even if they lose each and every single round after this, EXO will be pretty happy. And they probably won't because they have the money to keep buying again and again and again. They have enough money to sustain them for 3 rounds.
Absolutely.
And there's only 4 rounds remaining in the half, so really, what do you need?
I don't know, the remaining 4, I guess, EXO would definitely be saying that if they wanted, but yeah, every single bit of it. They would want to end this half 11-1 if they would, wish for it, but are Global gonna give it to them is the question. But the one thing that I really love is the way that EXO are reading Global Esports. They know exactly how to counter them. They know that they're pushing in towards places when there's an eco, and they're letting them be aggressive when it's needed for them. And when they know that there's a buy coming in, then they play strategically and they themselves put a little aggression themselves, like they're doing right now. Because they know Global are going to be playing a little more defensively when they have their buy. It's only a couple of times where they've got, SK Rossi picking up places. And I love that.
Exactly, and this is just a repeat of the 3rd round. The same old A plus vent crunch. SK Rossi put in a place where he has to check multiple angles. He will be able to stop Sai at the very least. But a ramp has already been conceded, which means they will need to be very careful on the rotations, especially skills. If he can time this right, he can catch everyone off guard. But instead of going towards the site, EXO are trying to wall and now go towards the B side. This could have been very good, but the spike has been cut loose and it's almost impossible to retrieve it. This is a very big brain play, but unfortunately,
One enemy remaining.
he denies everything, and even Lightning Fast is chiming in right now. What a weird push. Consider this, you go take control of A ramps, you wall off the screen side, and from there you want to take B. Like, you want to attack the B side from defenders spawn. Who does that? A very ambitious plan.
Very ambitious indeed, but something that I don't think we've ever seen before. I think they wanted to go towards B. Yeah, that is for sure. They put down the wall because they knew that I think that was a forced decision over here, Chris, because they knew there was a lot of pressure on A, right? And they know that they're not able to take those fights because unprecedented angles. And they knew that if there's 3 players at A, they have a better chance of taking down the players at B if they push up together as a force. Unfortunately, though, that wall was broken down, fight was taken, spike dropped, and Global, they just had control of the entire situation. And that doesn't even matter right now because EXO, they don't have a problem losing that round. They've got weapons, they've got money, they've got everything they need for at least another round, if so. And now they're aggressing again towards mid and they want to take control.
Love the way how they're avoiding Kappa's flashes. They know that usually it's followed by either SK Rossi peeking or Skill peeking, and they just don't want to give up their eyes. They still want to have them open. And every time they dodge Kappa's flashes, they are able to get deeper into enemy territory. And now they're using the utility methodically and carefully to clear out all the angles, but they still can't clear Skill holding this off angle. Oh no, the stun and nade, that's gonna be the end of him. How is he still alive? He survives at what, 2, 3 something HP? Finally Skill will follow up and get the kill onto him, but then trades come through, equalizing the situation. That was a very good combo. The stun and pain cells, oh my goodness, I would have been dead.
Yeah,
But still, Global Esports get the advantage finally after so long.
Yeah, it looks like they want to end
30
out this
seconds
half
left.
7-5. They're taking things a little bit more aggressive, seriously. It was a little bit of a slip up in the first 7 rounds that EXO took. And now they're trying to aggress back. SK Rossi is going to be the connoisseur of the aggression. Make that another one as he and Kappa clean up shop towards B heavens. And now Global Esports, they have their own foot on the ground. At least 1 foot at the very least, because they were on their knees till now. And finally, they've got 1 foot up. And they're slowly starting to look to get back up on top. And if they get this round, then they for sure are going to be able to end this half on 7-5. Unless EXO now throw again some sort of a bone to, the hands of a Global Esports, which they do not recognize. Which I really hope EXO do, because I love to see this unpredictable plays come in from them.
Yeah, Team EXO only have the showstopper available in the form of ultimates. Sai might probably have his ultimate at 1 point, but look at how many ultimates do Global Esports have. They've still got the Showstopper and the Rolling Thunder. We have barely seen Kappa use the Rolling Thunder at this point, and this could be a very important ultimate for the retake. And now it finally comes through. He uses it to move ahead, but Vim, even after he was concussed, he's able to get that kill, and Excalibur with the Showstopper blows up Skills. This is going horribly for Global Esports, even after having the ultimate advantage, and even after using them properly, they can't get the man advantage. And it's all gone down. Poor SK Rossi won't even be able to use his Blade Storm because of that null command.
Ooh. And now, EXO,
Can't
everything
use
that
that.
they need. 4 versus 2. The ultimate is now going to go down, but I'm not quite sure how useful or viable this is going to be in a 4v2. We're going to have to find that. Oh, there it is. It's completely destroyed. They committed both their ultimate. Their grenades. Okay, SK Rossi. Throwing things back into a mix. He wants this round and he wants it back. They're going in for this retake. And he gets another.
Last player
SK Rossi.
standing.
Get out of here. No.
Quad K Rossi, he's back, ladies and gentlemen, and he's got 17 frags. The only person in the server with more than 10 kills. And he doesn't just have 10, he has 17.
Last
the only
round
man on
before the
double
switch.
digits. And what a way to step up for the team. I thought things were going wrong for the side of Global Esports. The moment EXO got control of that site, it was a 2v4, a nearly impossible retake. Plus, even the lockdown was destroyed because of the paint shells and the fragment from KO. But then when SK Rossi pulls off shit like this, what do you even do? You can counter the ultimates, you can counter the strategies, but a well-placed knife to the head, nah son, there's no counter to that. Just gotta take that L.
Absolutely. And now it's the last round of the half. Team EXO, they've given away their lead, which I think they were pretty proud of. And now that's going to be cut down to just 2 rounds of a difference between them if Global win this round, that is. Looks like they've got the upper hand to do it. Are they going to be able to do it is the question. Sai, going to get information that there's 2 players towards B Heavens. And they're firing bullets towards that direction, but Hellrange is the one who's going to get the kill actually. B main completely shut out skills again with his usual judge is going to be taking out, and I think this should be almost the end of the round unless they pull off an SK Rossi on Global Esports.
Could be. Someone from the side of EXO will have to step up, but considering 2 of their most important players are dead right now, the only person who can actually cut them cover is Blackhawk with his cover and the Dark Shadows, but no, everyone in Global Esports says denied. And Blackhawk somehow survives that ultimate. That was great. Flash also coming his way, and everyone beats him. Good way to recover Global Esports. They somehow step up. Escarossi steps up more than anyone else, and everyone else on the team, they start chiming in with their frags of their own. And eventually they figured out that if they get good control, they will be able to stop Team EXO by just fighting over there. I mean, consider this. Team EXO was getting free mid control in the first half of the first half, in the first few rounds, but then Global Esports started to contest them a lot more frequently over here. One of the best rounds that Team EXO pulled off was when they were able to crunch A ramp and the vent room at the same time. And ever since then, Team EXO have not been able to pull it off. Global Esports instantly countered it, and they recognized the flaws in their armor. They, you know, closed up all the gaps, and they made sure that the armor is intact. No more chinks in it. Nothing that they can exploit.
Absolutely. And now that we're heading into the second half, and now Global Esports, they are going to be looking to exploit as many corners as possible. They've got what they need. A very deadly SK Rossi and a Kappa who supports him all the way until the very end. And it looks like with a little bit of a sound cue given towards B, they want to hit A now, Crips. And they've got 4 players over here to do so. The spike is also here, and they're slowly treading towards the right direction because there's only one player who's holding them off over here. And that is Wimp, but he's nowhere near close to the side as the utility from the side of Wimp is being destroyed, and now Global Esports are getting aggressive.
Yeah, those paint shells basically destroy all his nanoswarm grenades and alarm bots, so Global Esports can freely get into the side, go for the spike plant, and it will most likely be a 5v5 retake. But SK Rossi says nope, instantly turns it into a 4v4.
Okay.
3v4 as soon as I say that. 2 very clean one-taps from the Sheriff. That's exactly what SK Rossi is capable of, and with this, he's hit his 20th kill. Nobody else on double digits, but this man is sitting on 20. Literally double the amount of frags that anyone else has in the server. And if that doesn't tell you how hard he's carrying his team, I don't think anything else will. Still, it is possible from the side of EXO, but so much delaying utility from the side of Global Esports will mean that Ghost will lose most of his HP before he can even move inside. And Blackhawk gets double peaked. Sai also can't do much when there's like 4 people on his screens, and this is when Global Esports start to shine in. A flawless pistol round is what they needed. And with this, they'll have the economic momentum to maybe tie up the scoreline, unless EXO go for a force buy, which I don't think they will.
That is for sure. I mean, they did get the they did get a little bit of damage coming in, but it was just not enough. A flawless pistol round comes in, and the positioning, the aggression of Global Esports at the right time, which is perfect. They knew that they can sell this fake just by leaving one player towards B main, and that's all it took, Crips. It was just skills firing bullets on the Sage wall. And that was the end of it, because Wimp, he gave up the site completely just based on his utility. And Global Esports kind of expected that because, well, clearly they've done their homework and know how EXO play on this map. And now here comes the counter. Here comes the rage saying that you want to take our map from us, which is split, which, well, they would consider their map because they're so good at it. They're going in and they're getting everything they want. Now that there's a trade coming in, Wimp, he eats a bullet straight to his head, and Global Esports, now they've aggressed the situation, and this should be pretty much a round for them.
2 kills for them on A, 1 to its speed. Global Esports have all the options in the world. This was supposed to be an easy round for the side of Global Esports anyway, because EXO have nothing but their classic pistols, but still they want to take no risks. Very slow methodical approach as they look to crunch the red room area and the A ramp area. And so far, the classics are doing much more than they would have anticipated them to. 3 kills, 3 Spectres drop. Hey, you know what? That's actually not bad. And with this, only SK Rossi can purchase a weapon. Skills and Hellranger will have to play with Spectres or whatnot. Maybe Kappa and Lightning Fast can drop them their Spectres and, you know, buy weapons for themselves. Or the other way around.
Yeah,
But-
maybe, you know, they could probably, I don't know, I would love to see another judge come into the hands of skills. He did it on defense. If he's gonna do it on offense, I have absolutely no problem with that. But he picks up a Bulldog. Okay, I'm gonna be okay with that. A Bulldog, I mean, just as the name says, you know, like, I love these kind of names. Like, you know, you have a Vandal Phantom, yeah, okay, but like, Bulldog, a judge. Like, you know, what if you named a gun as, I don't know, like an, I mean, don't catch me for this. Just
Don't.
like attorney, like, you know, like an attorney. Because it's a judge.
Hey, listen. If
a
you ever have a
judge.
kid later on when you get married in life, please don't name him yourself.
I mean, hey, have you? Okay, you're telling me that? Have you seen Elon Musk's kid's name? Come on.
Okay, fine. I forgive you. Either way, while we're discussing our names over here, Global Esports have only one name on their mind, and it is spelled MID, mid. But as I say that, SK Rossi, the only player who was trying to go towards the A side, has got the kill. And he won't check for Ghost. And Ghost obviously will punish him, but that's completely fine because now Global Esports have control of ramp. And will they go for something straight out of EXO's playbook? They're hitting the B side from the defender spawn. They're using EXO's strat against them. And this is something that I don't think will be prepared
30
for.
seconds left.
He still has his nanoswarm grenades placed over there as a measure of delaying them. But that gives away his position, and now there's
Spike
aftershocks
down
on him.
B.
Blackhawk also using his paranoia just to buy himself a little bit of time and hoping that his teammates will come closer to him. But he lines up two of them, dinks one, takes one down, and it's a 2v2 retake
Spike
now.
planted.
Wimp and Blackhawk did everything they could to buy a little bit of an advantage for Ghost and Psy, but now almost everyone is suppressed. Skills and Hellranger need to rely on just trading over here. That paranoia will force both the players of EXO to go over the other side. And Global Esports notice, but they're still not checking. Hellranger will be caught off guard. Skills all by himself needs to line them up. And they peek him one by one, giving him a chance, but Psy wins the final duel. That came down to the wire.
Ooh, that was very close indeed. EXO, I really thought that was going to be another round that went out of their hands, but the retake came in at the perfect time. They went around, circled perfectly together, and that was the main. That's the main word we need to look for, together. And Ghost and Psy, we know that this combination of a complete, utter, you know, calm strategy plays from Psy, whereas the explosiveness of Ghost comes in. This time he's restricted to the Sage though, but a Battle Sage nonetheless. And now, EXO, they have got things a little bit, you know, for them. They have the advantage in terms of one round. But how long do they keep it? Because now that there's a full buy on the side of Global Esports, they've got 3 rifles, they've got 2 Spectres against 4 Spectres. It is a battle of warfare over here, gun warfare that's going to come in over here, that I think might just be won by Global based on their higher form of weaponry. But they're being a little bit cautious about where they're treading right now, because they're going back towards mid and they want to take control. There's nobody contesting it from the side of EXO. It's a very, very passive hold from them. As Psy is all the way back B heaven, and they've got the Raze all the way back A heaven as well. And Global Esports are sneaking in.
I think what they were trying to do is just bait out the nanoswarm grenades from the Killjoy, hoping that she would activate them right away and, you know, make things harder when the final push comes in. But now that the jig is up and EXO know exactly where Global Esports are headed, they're trying to make as much noise on B heavens as much as they can, but Escaros can sneak in undetected towards A. But Excali will spot him. The nade did not go in the direction that he intended. But hey, Escaros, he doesn't want to fight him. He just wants to make him a little worried about his own existence, hoping that he stays on the A side while his teammates continue to assault B. And now that the jig is up, there's only 2 people on the B side. The other 2 people who were trying to rotate have been cut off, but there's no smoke available, which means they'll have to fight Psy, or they'll have to find a way to ignore him, but they can't do either of that. And he's got his ultimate available right now. The Rolling Hunter comes in, and Ghost, he's gonna just put down the slow up to keep himself alive for a little bit, but still a 2 versus 2. I can't even remember how many times you've seen too many 2v2s right now. It's a bit too much. But SK Ross has his advantage and fortunately ends up giving his life to Ghost, leaving Kappa in a 1v2. No utility, which means he just has to rely on his aim. Takes one, but now this thing becomes a little more difficult. Sai is online as well. He knows he's gonna be peaked on both sides and he needs to switch between targets. Could have been an ace if he was able to do it, but nah, just a little bit left. He dinks Excali down to 3 HP while he was still up in heaven. Imagine if he was able to kill him right then and there.
Yeah.
That would have been a complete clutch.
A game changer indeed. But Excali, he survives and he gets a beautiful play coming in. And he somehow gets EXO right up back on front. We know this is a defensive-sided map, and even though EXO got the advantage in the attacking side, they're holding up on the defensive side now, and they're doing a pretty good job. Doing a pretty good job at getting these retakes coming in as well. Kappa, he almost got this on, almost a quad kill that came in from him, but the timing was just a little bit better for Excali. And now Global Esports, they're gonna play on an eco. They're gonna have semi-buy actually. They've got a Guardian in the hands of Lightning Fast, so we know how deadly he is on that. While SK Rossi, look at what he's got.
I love the way how EXO anticipated this from Global Esports. They knew that there will be multiple people just outside of B. They threw in the knife, they threw in the paranoia and the smokes just so that they can get control of B main and keep Team Global Esports away from this area. And it's not like Global Esports are trying to make up for it by going elsewhere. No, they're still very keen on hitting B. It's a battle of utility, and this will eventually turn into a war of attrition. It will all boil down to how many utility pieces are available with the other team. But
oh no.
He's already deep inside. There's nobody to back him up just yet. So he needs to find a way to cross safely, but he will be able to deliver with the openings. There are people coming in from heaven. The rotation from the side of EXO is still here, but this has turned into a brawl, and it's getting out of hand. It's just one player left, and Excali on the backline will be detected. All that he has worked for, all his attempts to stay sneaky will be negated. But SK Rossi still dies to that boom bot. You saw that through the X-ray, and you saw how comical it was. And Excali doesn't know how he got that kill, but he's going to be very happy about it nonetheless. He dinks down the race through the wall. Skills is now down to 3 HP. Something that Excali had been down on last round, but he is very capable of clutching this out. 21 HP against a Guardian, but like the boss taps his head off. No way you were supposed to do that. Excali has stepped up for his team time and again. He was the one who clutched out the round last time, but unfortunately Lightning Fast is a bit too sharp and a bit too healthy for his own good. And now it's 9-8. None of the teams refusing to budge, none of them refusing to buy down. And this was not even like they combined it with a bunch of mid pushes or whatnot. Nothing at all. It was just a regular B push. Even though Team EXO were throwing in all the utility to keep them cornered over there, Global Esports took their sweet time and they hit it nonetheless.
Yeah, they did. And now Global Esports, they're slowly crawling their way back. They do not want to let EXO run away, but now that they've put EXO on an eco, it looks like this round is pretty much done and down to it. Gali almost found the head, but it's alright. Global, they had a better weapon, so we wouldn't really expect them to win this one out. The jumping Ghost, or rather jumping Classic, I mean, because his name is Ghost, I get a little confused, but hey, whatever. EXO, now that they've given away this round, this calls for a little speculation. What are they going to do differently this time? Are they going to do an aggressive defensive push, which they've always done? But so far, it hasn't really come into fruition, Chris, because like we were talking about this earlier, you know, the fact that EXO have this tendency to push up and be right in your face when they're playing defensively, but they're not doing that as much as they would want to against Global because they know what this team is capable of. So they're giving them the respect that Global deserve. But how long do you think that respect should stay in place, given that Global can also fall short to pressure, which I remember they fell short to against Valor.
Yeah, you know, both these teams have struggled against Valor at some point or the other, right? Just yesterday, we saw Team EXO beat Valor 2-0, but you're forgetting that they already lost to Team Valor 3-2 in another tournament. And Valor have defeated Global Esports in Gauntlet already. Yeah, that is one very good measurement to, you know, just mark up both these teams. Compare them to a team that they have both struggled against in the past. But this Clash of the Titans, it still goes on 9-9, and none of the teams are refusing to back down. SK Rossi with 26 kills already wants a little bit more, and the Nano Swarm could have actually gotten the better off him because of the stun, but still a little bit left. More utility being dumped. Boyle goes out of position, but he's at least able to take down one before he finally hits.
Turret destroyed.
One right behind him. And more backup arriving from the side of Team EXO. This A take is looking more and more difficult as time passes. It's a 3-stack already available over here, but Team EXO are managing to hold on to the ramp area for as long as they can, which actually forces Global Esports to now go back downwind and towards B. But EXO read this. Look at Sai, he's already positioning and he's prepared for this one. With 50 seconds left, I think Global Esports will most likely just wait. They will let EXO overthink themselves and then go for the push. Oh, the rolling thunder. That's gonna hit Blackhawk like a truck. But before they come into the site, he might be unconcussed and he's able to get the kill. The Black Orb, it won't let him stay alive for much longer, but hey, he's at least able to boil it down to a 3v3. Both the lockdowns. Now, this is a little bit of a comical situation, but Lightning was able to destroy it and get away, and he retains Wimp too. That's a very valuable lockdown if I've ever seen one. 3v3 and time is boiling down.
It definitely is boiling down now, but they've got 3 players who they need Global Esports to defend this, and one of them is SK Rossi, and he for sure is not gonna let this go soon. Lightning fast, he's holding the corner, he saw oh my god, his vision was what I was looking for. Kappa completely drops him mid-air, unfortunately, Excali. And Lightning Fast saw him drop dead down in front of him. And I just remember one thing though. We saw earlier in the round, right, that Ghost was stuck under Heaven, and he saw that Nano Swarm pop in front of him, and then he got that aftershock come in as well. That reminded me of a streamer that I watch. I don't know if the viewers would know, but XQC, many of them would know him. Oh, he was there under Heaven, and then, you know, he had this reaction where he had a Nano Swarm, and then he had a slow up, and then he had an aftershock, and then he had bullets, and he was just like...
Yeah, I remember that rant from XQC. It went viral on Reddit. And honestly, I relate to it. I've had that happen to me so many times. When so much utility is dumped at you, there's really not much that you can do. But Ghost was still able to get a kill under so much pressure, so that's nice.
Yeah, XQC couldn't get one, but Ghost clearly, I mean,
Ghost
he's
clearly
good enough. One is good enough.
But hey, this time it's a very slow pace from everyone. Team EXO, they're holding with just a bunch of sheriffs, but Global Esports realize that EXO on just an equal round can be a little deadly because they will do unorthodox stuff. So that's why Global Esports are also just, you know, playing very, very carefully. They don't want to walk into any stacks or any traps. They're being extra cautious. And while they're being extra cautious, they don't realize that EXO have already pushed out of B main. And they know nobody's going to be present over here. That's why Team EXO can start stacking up the A site. And 3 people present over here might just make it a little easy. The paranoia is so well timed. It forces the players of Global Esports back. And all this utility from Breach has gone to waste right now.
30 seconds left.
No avail. Everyone in Global Esports starts to tap.
It doesn't really matter what they've got. That paranoia was just going to delay the same inevitable result that was the push coming in from Global Esports. And the fact that they had pistols was obviously, you know, a cause of, you know, concern, because you can't really fight off Vandals and Phantoms against pistols. On a good day for sure, on a good run for sure, but now Ghost, one shot, beautiful shot indeed, that SK Rossi is going to eat, but gets backstabbed. And now the scoreline has tended towards the side of Global Esports over here, Crips. And this is a very, very interesting one, because I love that this is nail-biting. This has gone really close, and this has become one of the matches that I think a lot of people would definitely, you know, love to look back at. That EXO, they had the lead. They had a very good lead. They were giving Global Esports competitions. Yeah, exactly. They were giving Global Esports a very tough, difficult competition. But then that man right up there on top of the scoreboard on the side of Global Esports completely blew them out of the water. Eats a little bit of the salt himself, but that's
a little messed up. But Excali is playing in a 1-and-done position. He's able to get away, but barely. Lightning Fast will still spray him down through the smoke. And in this 4v4 situation, I think things will favor Global Esports, because now EXO will be forced to split their defenses. 2 on A, 2 on B, and obviously if all the players of Global Esports hit the B site all at once, these 2 players will eventually be traded out. Unless they can spray people down. That would be really, really cool.
That definitely would be. Oh, skills! Almost found Ghost over there. Oh, little edge, and here comes the rolling thunder. They want to run in, they want to get this kill, but Ghost! Perfect positioning. I don't know how he did not get concussed by that. but he did just enough to keep his team alive. And Blackhawk has
Spike
done
down, B.
the perfect bamboozle of staying alive in a position where I think they should have expected him Global Esports, but he just had the better reflexes to get that kill. And Sai, with the operator, comes in, and he's going to take down the last player on Global. And they're not going down without a fight over here, Crips. And Global Esports, although they do have money for days, this round is definitely going to hurt them, because if they lose another one, then this potentially, I think, could touch overtime.
Turn out.
Yeah, it really could touch overtime, but consider this as well. If they defeat Team EXO right now, Team EXO, their economy will be broken. They will be downgraded to just a bunch of Spectres and whatnot, but Global Esports can still buy. So that's a little bit of an advantage that Global Esports have. Unfortunately, they were not able to win the round because they got a little too confident of the Rolling Thunder. They didn't realize that Ghost will still be unaffected. But the moment the flash comes through, you would have expected someone like Escarossi to ruin, but he's dead already. Even skills can't back up on top of it. There's too many players on mid. Excali doesn't want to fight this one. He would much rather just retain the mana advantage that he's worked so hard to get. That too, killing one of the most important players. So yeah, you definitely don't want to give it up. And I think EXO will be very fine with letting Global Esports have a little bit more map control if it means that they can still retain the mana advantage.
Oh, Excalian skills. They had their crosses placed on each other's chest, but nobody came up on top. Excali, he's right in the corner, and you know his skills exactly knows where he is, and he's waiting for him to peek out, but I don't think Excali wants to give it away. Just like you said, Crips, the man advantage more important for them. Excali does have Ghost with support. He's holding a Spectre. Excali comes up, but it doesn't even matter because Global Esports expected them exactly where they knew that they were going to be. And Blackhawk, one kill is all he's going to find, as Global now look like they want to put a match point on the board, and they might as well, because an operator in the retake, I'm not quite sure how good that's going to be.
Oh, they didn't plant? Okay, they planted a more safe man.
Spike planted.
It's gonna suppress almost everyone. Only the Killjoy has her utility online, which is good. You need the nanoswarms in post-plant, but Lightning Fast needs to be aware of the potential backstab. There's no utility placed by Lightning Fast that will make him aware about Wimp's position, so he's gonna have to check it manually. Size distraction. Now the flash is perfect. Wimp could have got that kill, but Lightning Fast is a bit too sharp. And now Sai will much rather save his op and carry it forward into the next round. Global Esports, they hit map point.
Oh boy, this is definitely going to be a little bit of a interesting one as we come towards the end of this map of split, ladies and gentlemen. The climax, which I'm not quite sure if it's still the climax yet, because we could see an overtime come in, which I think EXO are forced to play into, because Sai could not do anything but save his operator for a round where he knows that his team is not going to have enough economy to go up, and look at it. That's gonna hurt so much. They just had about 2,300 creds on Ghost. They had a few more on Blackhawk and Excali. They've given up a little bit of utility for the sake of armor, and now they're gonna have to fight with just bare brass tack. Whatever they've got, they gotta go ahead with it, and they've got Ghost as well on just a Sheriff. So all to play for over here. Do or die, Team EXO. Global Esports, they have a little comfort room, and they're looking to exploit it. Escarossi, he doesn't want to give comfort to the side of EXO. Neither does Skills.
Check. What? Ghost from Heaven deleted Skills with a showstopper, and then even Blackhawk goes unchecked. This has gone so horribly wrong. The spike has been cut loose, and the Sheriffs are starting to sing for the side of Team EXO. Oh my lord, this is a disaster. Kappa and Lightning Fast left it, but Kappa is already so low on health. Lightning Fast has been detected, and they are up against a bunch of people who have the potential to revive Sai over here. Ghost still has his resurrection available, and when they find out they're both in heaven, Ghost will do it without fearing anything.
That's true. Lightning Fast, ooh, he actually gets past unnoticed. That could be a little bit of a concern for the side of EXO. They have cleared out this angle, and I think they know that just because of that aftershock that somebody might be here. Fault line is not going to cause a lot of damage to anybody. Lightning Fast gets taken down, and there it is. I think this is going to be round number 11 for EXO, and they live for another round. The last round, round number 24, we go into
Who's got
Crips.
the snaps?
And now EXO are trying to put the pressure on to Global Esports. I don't know if they feel it or not because they've got economy to buy up completely. Hellranger being the only one, unfortunately, who will probably have to get a drop or half by his armor and play with the Spectre at most. But EXO have done what they needed to do. They had to win that round, and they have. And now they've got everything that they need. Ghost can afford a weapon back. They've got armor, they've got utility. And now this round is going to be a very, very important round because if EXO take this, then we are going to be seeing overtime. But if Global Esports take this, then I think Haven is going to be a very difficult matter even for EXO because that is Global Esports' choice.
Oh my lord, just try peeking with the Vandal. Lightning Frost wins that duel against Sai. That's the Orber taken down. And now they're already in the A side. Hellranger uses his ultimate to get inside. Skills picks up Blackhawk while he was trying to rotate. And everything's falling apart for the side of Team EXO. These Ghost is able to get a kill while he's still blind, but the man advantage still with him. Unfortunately, even Excali has been deleted. Consider this, even Skills was destroyed last time while he was trying to use his showstopper. Even Excali did not get to use it again. Both the Razors have failed their ultimates, but Hellranger doesn't fail that shot. Global Esports take map number 1.
My god. Global Esports, there was a lot of fight that came into it. 13-11, they're going to take map number 1. A very hard fought, close battle, nail biting. Whatever biting it was definitely chipping off a lot of things. Hey, I mean, it definitely was chipping off a lot of things, you know. It was Global Esports, EXO. You know, there was a lot of raised heads being chipped off of the bodies with the sheriffs when they're flying in midair. I don't really know. Both the teams are doing that. Both the teams are having fun, just, you know, bopping it. Oh, you know what? A flying race? Whew. You know, you remember that game? Duck Hunt. Yeah, exactly. Wow, you read my mind. Perfect. Duck Hunt is exactly what I was going for. And race became that duck on both sides. But I think that in the end, the hunter was Global Esports as they have completely taken down the side of EXO. And we're going to have a look at the match highlights, which is definitely going to be a little bit lengthy, given the fact that this went both ways until the very end. And Global Esports somehow pull it out of place, which I thought that was going to go towards the side of EXO, at least in the first few round scripts, because 7-1 against Global Esports is a lead that anybody would be proud of.
Exactly, 7-1 is a massive lead. What Global Esports have done is nothing short of a miracle. To come back from a score that devastating, it is, I mean, you will require balls of steel. You will require the highest amount of mental fortitude to pull that. And we saw how Team EXO, they were able to get all the way up into B heaven without getting contested. But then Global Esports decided to fight them every now and then. That was only in one round though, because all the shenanigans from the side of EXO continued. And it seemed like they were getting mid control for free for such a long time, and Global Esports wasn't able to do much. But then everything changed when they decided to just pick up fights and not play too strategically. When Global Esports throw caution to the wind, that's when you need to be the most careful. At least Team EXO had a good run, right? For the first few rounds in the first half, at least when they were able to get that 7-1 lead, what Global Esports was basically doing is hoping the Team EXO pick up the fights in locations where Global Esports wanted to fight them, but EXO just pushed them back with utility, pushed them into uncomfortable angles, and then take fights on their own terms. That's basically what gave EXO all the advantage that they needed. But eventually, Global Esports found a way to counter it. And the only thing that was making it difficult for Global Esports was how often were Team EXO changing up their pace. Sometimes they play super aggressively, sometimes they play super slowly, and that really throws Global Esports for a toss. Because every time they think an area is safe to go ahead, Global Esports, they get taken by surprise.
Yeah, I mean, every single thing that EXO did, they did very well in the first few rounds. But after that, it almost felt like, you know, their strat book kind of hit the dead end. It was the end of their strat book because after that, Crips, it was you saw that, right? We saw that same A mid and A split, same A, mid and B split. It was like they were doing the mirrored versions of the same execute. Sometimes they did a little something different. Like we saw this one right here was where they walled off and tried to go towards B. But again, this was a strat that was into them, right? at least looked like it. If this was a strat that they were thinking about, then kudos to them for trying something different. But that's the thing, they never tried this again. They never did
Yeah.
this again. They did it only once, and
Yeah.
it's just a little bit of a shortcoming in terms of how they thought about attack global esports. Strats were implied, they were put into action, but it just did not come into fruition because after a point, EXO was just going by the feels of it, and it did work. It did work, mind you. They had good
Some
positioning,
extent.
though. To an extent, though. And I think in the end, it was just Kappa who I would like to quote something from the Age of Ultron that when the Earth starts to settle, God throws a stone at it, and believe me, he's winding up. And I think that's exactly what Hellranger would have told to his teammate. You know what? I'm winding up now. It's time to get done with this, and we are going to be going to Haven with Global Esports as the victors of map number 1, as they've pulled out EXO's team pick from their hands and made it their own. And now EXO, they're on the back foot, they're against the wall, and they are in a position where they need to win this one by hook or by crook. So let's see what they're going to do after the short break. Me and Crips are just going to get a few Red Bull cans ourselves, and you should too, as that QR code has popped up on the screen. And we're going to be back shortly with Global taking on EXO, and to see whether or not there's going to be a map 3.
Hey guys, welcome back to LG Ultragear presents TEC Gauntlet Season 2, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. My name is Crips. With me is Mr. Bad Jokes, and we are about to take you on for the second game of Global Esports
Okay.
versus Team EXO.
I'll have that. I'll have that. As long as my jokes make people smile, I'm okay with it, man.
Press X to doubt. Hey, you also can press A to reveal which team won the first map. It was Global Esports. It was a closely contested game too. At one point, EXO were leading 7-1, and then Global Esports make a massive comeback to close out the half 5-7. And with a flurry of rounds going back and forth, eventually Global Esports was able to determine which pace will Team EXO play at in the more crucial rounds and break their economy, which basically allowed them to close out the game in the last round. There were plenty of clutches from SK Rossi, several impactful plays from Kappa, and Hellranger with the timely rotations was able to control the pace of the game, even though Team EXO were making it difficult for him. So yeah, with that out of the way, Global Esports have picked up the map of Team EXO, and now they're heading into their own home turf, Haven.
They most certainly are, Crips. And now that Haven, as you've mentioned, we're going to be heading straight into it. No time wasted into the agent selection and see what exactly these guys are going to be coming up with this time. Ghost did this time. Okay, EXO, a pretty a team insta-lock over there. They know exactly what they want to play and they're not messing around. They've gone straight for it. As Sai has gone for the Sova, Wimp with the Killjoy. Excali this time, he has chosen to go for Sky. And Blackhawk with the Asteroid. The single duelist setup, which we pretty much see usual on Haven. And I think it might be a similar lineup on the other side, except for the fact that it's not a Sky, it's again a Breach. And this time, it's Hellranger to fill into that role. And this is what I think we were all, hoping for. I love the way that Global Esports are completely undeterred about the fact no matter what agent you pick, there's going to be a breach in our composition every single time. And that's just because, we have probably the most deadliest player in the region, and that's SK Rossi. And to set him up, there's no other agent better than Breach, right? Yeah. So they have it in every single map almost. And now that they have it in Haven as well, this is going to get a little bit more interesting because there's a Sky on the other hand. So they're going to have at least the potential of a healer being their Crips. But this team of of Global Esports, they have no healer. And they're going to have to play on just whatever they have, whatever they get, and, go about their wits of having half HP, 1 HP, whatever it is, go ahead with it.
Could be. Similar compositions for both these teams. The only difference is that there's a Breach instead of a Sky, and the double initiator setup is more prominent. Sky will enable you to get more information in time. Breach will make retakes easier for you. But I don't think that retake will be coming through anytime soon if EXO can stop the plant from happening. But they can't. There's nobody on the B site. They put their bullets on both C-Link and A-Link. They get with the plant and dash back to safety.
Ooh, there's a lot of damage being dealt on both sides. But EXO, that healing, what we talked about is working out over here, Crips. Immediately, my words have been put into action as Global Esports have got the plant down, but EXO, they've got 5 players alive. Blackhawk is going straight for the defuse now, got all of it because there's a lot of bullets being spammed. So much of damage being given on both sides. EXO still on the top. Ghost is gonna do so much work. He gets a 2k, while Excali is gonna take down Lightning Fast and Global Esports. I mean, it was just a number of smokes and cloudbursts and constant fake diffusers coming in, and yeah, they somehow won that one out. And that, like I said, that healing factor, I think, helped them out a lot.
Astral to do them Astral Guardian things.
Well, this was a very difficult round. The fact that there were nanostorm grenades available kind of delayed the defuse for a little bit. Even the gravity well was thrown in simply so that they could deny it. But then Ghost comes up with a big double kill, and that is what you needed to put that little, how do I say this? That little awkward crossfire to a break.
I got the
That's what they
spike.
needed, but Global Esports want to go for the exact same strategy this time around as well. A quick plant towards the B site, uncontested. They will dash back to safety. The same strat repeated once again. What's gonna be different this time around? Oh, now we know what's different. Instead of just playing for post plant, Global Esports are taking the battle towards garage. That's what's different this time around. And they're gonna try to wrap around from C-Link. This will make Team EXO very, very awkwardly placed, as they are not at all prepared for this assault. Very good adjustment from the side of Global Esports.
Coming back.
This was a forced buy, and for good measure as well. Global knew that they could pressure on XOI because they're gonna be a little, every time you win on the pistol, there's that comfort that sits in, right? A little bit at least, knowing that, okay, even if your opponents do force in, they're not gonna have armor. But if you have a forced rush like this and kills coming in back and forth, even if it's a classic, even if it's a frenzy, it doesn't really matter because Global Esports, they know how to force in their way into a site, and that was a clear example of it. And now they've thrown EXO into an eco where they've just got classics, absolutely no commitments in terms of buying anything in the sun, and this should be pretty much what they should be winning out of their Global Esports.
Oh my god, he just doesn't care that Ghost is still available over there. Kappa would have been caught off guard if Ghost had a better weapon, but SK Rossi, he's not one to check corners, especially when he knows his teammates are covering him.
Absolutely. SK Rossi. It's a bullet in the back, actually back and front. He hits it towards both sides. And little bit of an aggression from Lightning Fast is gonna be punished again. Wimp actually gets through. Wants to damage them a bit more. Maybe find another kill. Spots one more, but it's gonna be the end of him. As Skills just white peaks him, runs through, and gets the kill. And we talked about it being a sweaty game, and I think Lightning Fast is feeling it because every time his cam comes on, every third time I see him rubbing his hands off with a piece of cloth. So, sweaty game it is.
A quite literally sweaty game. I didn't mean that it would literally manifest into beads of water coming out of your forehead. Hey, but as long as these players are feeling comfortable, that should be good. And Escast is feeling damn comfortable right now. And that was visible given the breakneck pacing of his assault towards the A site. This time Global Esports are trying something different. Most of them positioned outside of C. A 5-man YOLO rush towards the B side. Fault line to follow behind the boxes. But you don't even need that. SKRC will be able to get you all the kills. And they've got control of the site. Easy spike plant.
Oh, this flank coming in from the side of Wimp might just
Spike
be a little
planted.
bit useful, but that turret is going to completely render it useless. Lightning Fast, he's still not, he was still in the astral form. Even, I don't think he noticed that the turret, yeah, now he sees it. There's no more turret. Being in the astral form is going to cause that bit of unpredictability of not knowing what exactly is happening around you. But Global, they've got 5 players alive, and they've got all 5 of them towards C long, 2 of them towards Cubby, and that's being spotted out by Excali. And now they're playing along with SK Rossi's knives, which he misses a couple of. El Ranger's waiting for a fortnight to come in, and this recon right in the face of Will.
Last player standing.
Yeah, that was a little weird, wasn't it? The recon being stuck on his body. I've never had a recon stuck to my body, but from the looks of
eye.
yeah, from the looks of it, it basically made half of his screen disappear, didn't it? I want to see it in replay.
Yeah, we're gonna
How
have
do
to
you
look at
even
it
see
now.
your opponents when you've got a massive big recon art on your face? You can't even see half your screen. What's gonna happen? Oh my god.
The action of it was just so funny. The way it just came and hit straight into his head. Wimp, poor guy, could not do anything about it. And I'm pretty sure that even he had a laugh about it. But Global Esports, they're aggressing yet again, Crips. And towards the A side, it seems again this time. Because they know EXO's on an eco. And it looks like there's nothing more that they're going to do over here, EXO.
See ya.
They're just going to keep dropping bodies one after the other. As SK Rossi has completely taken control of the side. And Blackhawk and Wimp have been left to do the job.
Spike planted. Last player
Difficult
standing.
job, so I won't be surprised if EXO don't get anything out of this, but you've seen so many iterations of Global Esports so far. 2 repeated B rushes in the first 2 rounds. Then an anti-eco hit. we're starting to see a pattern over here, aren't we? Every time Global Esports realize that EXO are on an eco, they hit the A site. And the funny part is, EXO, for the most part, have stacked that A site. There were 3 people present over there. This time there were 4. One of them fell back at the wrong time, but still, it's a difficult job to break open a 3-man stack on A. But they do it nonetheless.
Yeah.
So yeah, this pattern is starting to emerge, and I don't know when EXO will start to see it. Once again, it's going to be SK Rossi dashing into sewers, but this time there's nobody following up on the back of him. In fact, I think they're just selling SK Rossi, sending him over there to sell a fake, and the rest of them will try to hit mid, which obviously will be dealt by Ghost. But if SK Rossi manages to pull the rotations towards himself, that will mean that the B side is a little bit more easy to take. Unfortunately, there's only one AWP over here, so if he misses once, that's going to be the end of Ghost, unless he can dash back towards A-Link, which, from the looks of it, probably won't be that easy. Now heading towards Garage. Oh my god, there's a Seeker in the face of Excali. He breaks it. But Ghost will be pre-fired by Skills. That's the opening they needed, and now Escalossi strikes on A as well. At this point, Team EXO are losing their players towards both B and A, and they don't know where the final assault will come through. Escalossi's captured the A side for now, but he's just keeping every player of EXO away from it. He's trying to buy space for his team to come through. And it seems like he'll be successful at that attempt. A safe spike plant should come through from the side of Global Esports.
It has come down, Krebs, and now that the retake is also coming in for EXO, they don't have any ultimates to work with over here, but Global does. They've got the Hunter's Fury required by the hands of Kappa, and here's one kill. Excali's done a little bit of the job for his team to try and get a little bit of advantage, and Sai adds on to that. This is looking like it could happen now. Sai has an ultimate available as well. 3v2, 2 players of Global who are pretty much comfortable in doing this, and they're gonna get it done. Kappa and Hellranger, the most experienced players on this side of Global Esports, or pretty much in this country for that matter, if we could debate it with anybody else. But they know exactly what to do. They do not deter one bit, even if they're down 3-2, or even if it's 5-2, they're still gonna be able to do it. And this round, it was just based off on SK Rossi getting to that under-Evans position and trying to keep the push coming from EXO for as long as his team could come and take control of the side. And that was all they needed. After the plant went down, SK Rossi's job was done, and now he could allow his teammate to take positions where they could cause more damage than he alone could. And that translated to a round victory, but both this time, he tried to go for one more head after... Oh wait, Blackhawk! Okay.
2 free kills for the side of Team EXO. And they've killed one of the more important players. Kappa had the Hunter's Fury. When I saw all 5 players of Global Esports line up outside of C, I thought what they were trying to do is get Kappa to clear out the more common angles with the Hunter's Fury, and then they rush inside. But now that Kappa is dead, they can't do that anymore. At least Lightning Fast will be able to kill the guy with the Blade Storm, so some damage has been negated, but there's still 3 ultimates available from Team EXO, and 2 of them can be used in tandem to go for the retake. Yep, the good old Lockdown Cosmic Divide combination is available, but no weapons, unfortunately. Global Esports taking the sweet time. Turret will spot out 1 player, but I think EXO are ready for this. They've got 2 just outside of Garage, 1 more inside of C. If Global Esports hit the Garage Leader right now, they will be able to more or less make this plant work, but they're going for the good old B plant once again. They've done this in the past so many times, and they've been fairly successful at defending it as well. But this time there's one thing that they're changing, and that is they go towards B. And because of the Cosmic Divide, Team EXO will not be able to hear their footsteps until it's a bit too late. Only Sai can stop them now. And he's got the Bucky, which is the perfect weapon up close and personal. The shock darts can stop the plant from happening once again, and they're running out of time. The Hunter's Fury will make sure that the spike will never go down in time, and this round is in the bag for Team EXO.
Thrifty.
Oh, they have done just about what was needed. Especially that first kill that came from the hands of Ghost towards that C-Long, and then that blind shot into absolute nothingness to give a head for Blackhawk. That's exactly what they needed. They got the advantage. They threw Global Esports into a mix. And then, after Global Esports tried to, bamboozle them with that Astra's ultimate, it just didn't work out because Sai was in the perfect position. So EXO knew exactly what they were doing. They knew where to position their teammates, and they knew that Sai, if at all they went to A, could be able to stop them as he did, and just played that to absolute perfection over there. A thrifty, well deserved indeed. And now that they're heading into a round where they've got complete utility and weaponry to fight along with, they've got Ghost with their operator, and EXO looking to pull back round number 3 in their favor.
But there's 3 people on the A side. This will be very difficult. Hunter Scooty might be able to clear up some of the more common angles, and the lockdown has been committed as well. And luckily for the side of Team Global Esports, EXO don't have their own Hunter Scooty, which means they can't destroy the lockdown. They will be forced to give up the A site. But look at what Excali is doing. He's going towards long instead. This is a great power position, but Lightning Fast will deal with it. Still, no spike plant just yet. A 4v4 retake could be possible, but I think they'll try to deny the spike plant in the first place using the nanoswarm grenades. Nope, they're not positioned properly. Spike will go down. At least they can stop Global Esports from taking good positions. That could be something that they do, but nah, it's a nice crossfire. 1 player under heaven, 1 in the right-hand side corner, 1 still on the box. The only player who can make a difference in this round for the side of Global Esports is Lightning Fast, because he's coming in for a massive backstab, and I hope he comes through very quickly, because the side of EXO are still yet to enter the site. But the moment they try to do it, Kappa and Skills will be able to shut this area down. And now the backup is over here. Lightning Fast, he's still being very sneaky. His backup will never be needed because his teammates just turn it into a firing gallery and shut down everyone from the side of EXO as they try to move in. It was a great combination as well. They first used the Cosmic Divide to cover the long and the short areas, so EXO could move into sight without having to worry about anyone playing from those positions. But let's be honest, what good is that Cosmic Divide when all the players of Global Esports are on the site itself? They're under heaven, they're holding the standard crossfire, they're on the default planting box, and the Cosmic Divide doesn't protect you for jack.
It absolutely doesn't, and the Cosmic Divide was unfortunately failed, and now Global Esports, they have got the advantage. They've got Kappa busting the head of Sai, and they've got the A side control with just 1 kill. And that's about it. Now, even if the backstab comes in, Skills decided to deal with it, which I think he will find in just a couple of seconds. But if he keeps his back turned towards them too long, he might just eat a few bullets and on the back of his head. But now he's looking in the right direction. And all 3 players of EXO coming in the backstab now are just going to give Skills either a shooting gallery or he's going to become one for them.
B-Classics coming at you. Ghost distracts him, Excali bags him. That's a good old 1-2 combo. But his teammates are here now, and Lightning Fast wants to go for some style kills.
Oh! An awkward classic exchange over there, but
yeah, let's not address it.
Global still come out on top though, and now I just want to point out how aggressively the side of Global Esports are playing Grips. It's like every single round their aggression is just going further and further. You can see it was just a plain A rush. Even though it wasn't eco, they knew that it wasn't eco for the side of EXO. Even during the buy rounds, they're not deterring from giving that push, and now they look like they want to go towards Garage, where there is 1 player standing, and that is Wimp. And he's setting down a very passive setup, honestly, and he's giving away that control. And this could be a little dangerous because SK Ross is coming in with his knives, and he's allowed his teammates to get some space into this. And here it comes, Rolling Thunder, perfect positioning. But guess who got checked? Oh my god, that could have been so disastrous. Global Esports somehow get control of the situation. 5v3, and EXO again falling apart.
Spike planted.
EV5 required off of them. Unfortunately, EXO have no ultimates available. Nothing that could make their job a little easier. They'll just have to rely on pure fragging. And the frags don't go in the favor when SK Rossi is up on your face like that. Even after he's concussed, he will still be able to decapitate Ghost. Only 1 cool kill came in from the side of Sai. That was with a shock dart on Lightning Fast, but that was just consolation. And because Global Esports have been able to win 2 rounds in a row without losing 4 of their players, look at the amount of money they have.
Exactly.
Almost 9,000 on everyone. Man, these guys are rolling in gold right now.
Well, whatever currency it is that they deal with, they want more and more of it every single round. And
Classic capitalism.
Maybe, but in Valorant, capitalism equals success is what I would say, because you wouldn't have that much economy unless you win the rounds, right? So
You
capitalism.
drop. Yeah, I mean, you give your teammates a drop, and he says, "Our money."
Harmony, yeah, exactly.
Socialism coming
Yeah,
in.
I don't really know how many people pay attention to that one stat that we have that's called econ rating. But I think the highest ever econ rating that I've seen was about 136.
Hmm.
That's
And-
actually pretty high considering that I've seen the lowest to be 2.
And who were these people who got these insane numbers?
People and random pugs, man. And you know how this happens? You remember, when you're in a pug game and if you have skins, just like the dragon that we're seeing right now, the Elder Flame for that matter.
Hey,
they
please,
keep
Merico
asking,
Prime,
drop
did
the-
please,
drop
Merico
the
River, did
Elder
they?
Flame,
All
they
those
know,
beggars.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you give the skins to them, your econ rating will shoot through the roof.
Yeah, it just, yeah. I mean, this dragon is pretty much like the Elder Flame Vandal. Is this the design where they got it from?
Unfortunately, Ghost won't be getting anything. No orb, no dragon, no dignity as well. Eskerosi might just dash in after he gets that kill, but there's so many people from the side of XO over here. This was a 4 stack on A. And if Global Esports can break this, then they will have all the respect in the world. Yeah, but they're struggling.
Spike
It was natural.
down A.
Too many people over here was definitely going to be an obstacle for you in the first place, but they were still hell-bent on going towards A. Even after spawning so
Concealment.
many players, they don't care to go back towards B or rotate away. Nah, they want to push forth. They want to brawl right now, and their kill engines are roaring. They're soaring into the sky as well, as Global Esports have a massive lead.
I mean, that is for
Last
good
round
measure as
in
well,
the
right?
half.
Because if you're in a round like this where you've lost 2 of your players and if you retreat from a side where you know that there's players who could potentially blow you off, you give them time, they're going to have time to think, they're going to have time to re-strategize, they're going to have time to pick up weapons, they're going to have time to do everything. So, Global Esports did the right thing by pressuring them because they knew that if Wimp had a little bit more time on his hands, he could have picked up a Vandal maybe, or a Phantom, whatever was dropped by the players who were dead by the side of Global Esports, and who knows, with those 2 weapons they could have pulled that around. So good decision, they pushed in, they got the round, and now that they're 92 up, they look to make it 10-2. Ghost is going to be eating a lot of damage, he's down to 66 HP. SK Rossi's been found out where he is as well, as Ghost has to retreat back forcefully. He does get healed up by Excali though, as Lightning Fast finds Blackhawk on the other side of the map, giving a little bit of cheeky backstab coming in. And here they are, Global Esports, they don't expect Wimp. They're running into his hands, and he gets 1, and he might just find the retake more viable than fighting them head on.
Yeah, I mean, even if he did stay on the site, the Cosmic Divide would have made it impossible for his teammates to help him trade. Both the lockdowns have been popped at almost the same time, and Hunter's Fury will come to destroy it, but what they probably don't realize is that there's Rossi, but now he's been found out. At least he's able to get 1. This buys Global Esports a little bit more time, allows them to get towards long. Now they need something to cover this little gap on C-Long, and then go in for the defuse. One-way smokes have been placed, which will make things a little easier if Global Esports peaks, but nah, they're gonna stay hidden. Both flashes to come through. Wimp is trying to push the advantage, but he'll be met with a firing squad and double peaked. Excali can't land the birds. And he'll have to probably give this up. No time left and no head on his shoulders. A very good lead from the side of Global Esports. This has been an
Switching
amazing
sides.
half so far. But hey, Global Esports have made a massive comeback on Split. There is no denying that EXO could also do the same.
Ooh. Yeah, that is true. There is no denying that EXO could do the same. But can they do the same is the question, Crips, because 10-2 half coming back from it is... I mean, even on Haven, even though it is an attacking side of the map, is a very difficult situation to be in because you need to start with a pistol. You get the pistol, you get the next round. That is if Global Esports choose not to force in. Then maybe you get the next one. Maybe.
Yeah.
And that still puts you at a halfway length of where Global are. Because they're going to have a buy coming back at that time. And then it's just going to be another brawl for map control, utility usage, damage given, or man advantage for that matter. And right now, EXO want map control towards B.
This is the exact same strategy that even Global Esports did when they were on attack. But EXO, when they do the same, Global Esports know how to counter it. They give it up. And EXO are now trying to move in towards the A side. They decide against it because they find out there's 2 people present over there. So now, maybe a C site is in the work. SK Rossi here to deal with them, and he is landing the
enemy
shots
remaining.
one after the
Spike
other.
down,
Spike's
C.
been cut loose. Excali once again in a clutch situation. 3 kills required off of him, and he's got no information. No utility available as well to take that information. Kappa struggled a little, but they get the pistol round, and this was the win condition for EXO. Win the pistol, then look forward, but they fail at the very first step. They've got no choice now but to go in for the force.
Oh, most certainly. And now, Global Esports, they've put EXO in a position where I think they're gonna be in a very deep hell. A hell which is, you know, pretty much burning in every single direction they look at, under their feet, around their hands. Because they're gonna have to probably force into this. Okay, then actually, yeah, they have forced into this, and it's just sheriffs. Yeah, they've got no choice. They've just got sheriffs and just one Spectre. And that I don't know is gonna be as viable as the weapons of Global Esports, because they've got a Phantom, they've got 2 Spectres, they've got Kappa and Lightning Fast on pistols, but that doesn't matter because it's just as good with that as well. Yeah. And now, they're letting it play Global Esports because they know that EXO need everything. They need map, they need people to die, they need everything. And Global, they're gonna let them do whatever they want.
Exactly, they can chill. Utility being put up from Astra doesn't matter. I don't think Lightning Fast cares at this point. SK Rossi still is able to get a kill without even having a line of sight onto his opponent. Man, that is disgusting. And everything's going wrong for the side of Team X, so there's a backstab already in the form of SK Rossi. He will only be able to take down one, but while they're busy dealing with him, everyone else strikes. It's a classic bait and switch. SK Rossi will be glad to throw his life away if that means his team can win the round. It's not only just a massive lead in terms of rounds, but look at the individual kills as well, right? Nobody on the side of Team EXO has been able to get more than 6 frags.
Placing sentry.
Yeah, that is for sure.
Placing swarm
Nobody
grenade.
has been able to get
Placing
more than
swarm
6 frags, and how concerning is that? Because you add up the kills of 3 players on the side, make that 4 players on the side of EXO. That's still 1 lesser than SK Rossi's kills.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
I mean,
that is... I don't know if that's...
Yeah, that's scary. I know that I'm scared of mats, but this is even more scarier. Holy shit. And now SK Rossi has ignored the jet literally, but can't really run away from it. Ghost is finally able to deliver, but his teammates are coming in from garage are falling. They'll be able to get to the site, but planting the spike will probably be difficult. And no post-plant positions will be available for them as well, because
Spike
Skills is
planted.
coming in for the backstab. They will have to fight this one out. It's just gonna boil down to these brawls, and maybe Sai can win them. So what if displayed right there, but they will double peek him. Almost got the better off him, but Sai will be able to turn around. Finally, his killing spree will be put to an end.
enemy
Fast,
remaining.
but now this is what happens when Skills is on the backstab. There's no post-plant positions available for
One
him.
enemy
Ghost can
remaining.
probably isolate these frags and win the 1v1s, but he's gonna have to boil it down to a brawl, and Lightning Fast is playing around with the smoke. Shenanigans all the way, and he's gonna win this one.
These interruptions.
Tag it and bag it, ladies and gentlemen. Global Esports want to go for a quick dinner, and that's why they finish it off nice and fast.
Defenders win.
Indeed,
Of course
Global
you won.
Esports, yeah, you can see they are going to be taking a stretch of relief, which SK Rossi is doing right now. Because, dude, I don't even know how this man operates. I don't know what he does. I don't know what he eats. I don't know what he thinks. Whatever he does, I would love to follow that routine, because it's such a flex to have that if you add up the kills of your opponents, it's 4 players of your opponents. It's still not close to what you just have on your plate, right? It's like your opponent has, if you consider it in food, your opponent has 1 pav, okay? 1 pav, the pav, just the bread. Your opponent has pav, all 4 of them have pav. Whereas SK Rossi is eating vada pav with that pav. He's also eating pav bhaji with that pav. And he's misal pav also with that pav. He's having everything in 1 plate. Whereas EXO are eating all of that in just same plate. There's a difference.
You're making me
appetite.
hungry now. You're making me hungry now. It's almost dinner time, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to quickly throw it into the highlights so that you can get the best moments of this game. And pretty sure SK Rossi has a lot to show from this one. I love the first 2 rounds of the game, though. They were probably the most interesting ones. EXO was able to get a nice win in pistol, but then that was it. After that, they were able to get only 1 round in the entire half. And even that was on the basis of shenanigans from their individual players. But the best part is, after Global Esports go in for a quick B rush in pistol, they do the exact same thing in the force buy round as well. The only difference is But this time, Global Esports, instead of playing post plant at the bottom of mid, they take control of Garage and then wrap around from C Link. So they take the initiative of picking up these fights. They don't let Team EXO do it. And that's the difference between Global Esports and Team EXO. Global learned from their mistake in just one round, instantly.
Yeah. They most certainly did, and they did not give away another round after that. It was an absolute. I just want to quote Floki over here by saying this was a shellacking of the highest order, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna have. I mean, the last time I think I casted Floki, the scoreline did end with 13-2, and that's exactly when he said that. And
Oh my God.
pretty much, if he's watching this match, then he's gonna be saying this right now in his mind as well. And Global Esports, they are just absolute dominators, man. It was like a lawn mowing machine that just did not stop for whatever they saw. No matter what it was, they just wanted to destroy it. Whether it be Sai or whether it be anybody from the side of EXO, it was just complete havoc. Hell Ranger and his strats are honestly something to be admired, something to be looked at, and probably worshipped at a point, because that guy's brain, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it in a gaming museum, if there's ever one like that.
I mean, it is a pretty big brain, and I can't deny that the amount of variations that Team Global Esports were doing, it's ridiculous. They had so many different strats. Team EXO had different variations of pace, but Team Global Esports, they had different variations of when and how they hit rounds. But we'll talk about all of this in more detail when we jump into the analyst segment, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back on the analyst desk after just a short break. You guys are watching the LG Ultragear TEC Gauntlet Season 2, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the analysis. It was quite a short game, to say the very least. I was literally looking at map number 2. Again, I went to eat some dinner, and I literally came back, and the match was already over. It feels like that it happens always, but at the same time, hey, this is the LG Ultragear TEC Gauntlet Season 2 by W Black and AMD Ryzen Radiant, where the matches can be extremely quick, or it could be extremely long and lengthy. That's kind of how it goes from time to time. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's head on down over to the map video screen and see the score lines here, because honestly, after what I saw in map number 1, I expected it to go to 3 maps because of the amount of performances coming on down through from the side of Team EXO. But Trips, as we do head on down over to the series highlights, I don't know, man. Like, it felt as though Split Team EXO just dropped the ball out of absolutely nowhere without a warning.
I think in Team EXO's camp while they were on split, at least they still had the ball in their hands for the first half. Things were working for them. Global Esports saw a way to counter them and they implemented it. The funny part is, Global Esports have been able to adjust to their mistakes really quickly. And we saw that in the first 2 rounds of Haven. Their adjustments were super quick, super precise, but Team EXO were not able to find a counter to whatever Global Esports did. And Global Esports was switching things up so often, it felt almost impossible for Team EXO to keep up. In Split, though, there is one thing I like about Team EXO. Their pacing. It was always good. Sometimes they were slow, sometimes they were fast, and that threw Global Esports off their balance. That changing of pace is probably the only reason why EXO were able to win 11 rounds in the first place. But then when Team Global Esports decided to switch up not just the pace, but also the place, yeah, that's when shit gets real.
When you consider how they were playing around with all of their utility and how they switched up according to the strategies that the side of Team EXO were trying to employ, like multiple times you guys were screaming and shouting, being like, hey, we can see that the side of Global Esports are using the exact same strategy coming on down through from the side of EXO, and it's like a switcheroo. You steal your opponent's cards and you play it against them, and they're like, oh, wait a minute, are they doing the same thing that we are doing? Wait, how do we counter this? This was a surprise. We're just not ready for it. In a lot of these different situations, these type of plays really did get them a lot of rounds away from the side of Team EXO, and slowly but surely that compounded into much more further wins. And with that, they just were able to bring it all back in their favor. I didn't really expect this. The side of Global, they performed it so beautifully right up till the very end. And SK Rossi, man, I will still always remember that Bladestone play. He flicked one, took out the Omen, and then immediately flicked back and took out another person. All in heaven in like a literal 1 second. And looking at the scoreboard here as well, Universe, honestly, these guys, they were cracked out of their minds.
They definitely are cracked out of their minds. I'm not just talking about Global Esports here. It's Team EXO as well. They had a pretty good first half. They had a decent second half until the very end where they gave it up. And I really wish that EXO would have put on a little bit more of a tougher show towards the very end, towards the climax, because it went down to the wire. It went down all the way towards the very last round, round number 24. And I think that they could have pulled it to overtime given their situation, because the round previously where they made it 12 to 11 was where they had done it with just forced out weapons. They had a Guardian, I believe. They had Sheriffs. They had all of that going in their favor, and they still made it work. So after that, they had weapons, but Global Esports, these guys are just too aggressively perfect. They are just strategic in the way that they aggress. They know when to put pressure. They know when to let it go. They know which angles to hold, where to set up crossfires, where exactly is it that SK Rossi needs to dash in, where exactly it is that, Lightning Fast needs to hold on for a flank or backstabs, Hell Ranger to set up the site for them, all the utility that comes in from the initiator to controller to SK Rossi's cloud burst. Everything, these guys know exactly where it goes, what happens. So yeah, just SK Rossi and his team, they, it's like a gladiator, man. Like, the gladiator holds a spear and he holds a shield, while Kappa, Hell Ranger, and Lightning Fast are that shield. SK Rossi and Skills keep changing their position between the shield and the spear. But SK Rossi, that man, he is the knife edge cutting of that spear. He's the one who takes that first kill. He initiates that the first, like how a blade is inserted into a body and then it causes the first damage, because the pain you feel the most is when the knife first enters your body, and that's exactly what SK Rossi does.
Completely agree with you there.
You might have to call SK Rossi.
Yeah, like honestly, that was a bit. That was a very philosophical understanding to how it all worked. But let's head on now over to the map video one more time here, ladies and gentlemen. And do we actually need to speak about what happened on towards the side of Haven Gear Trips? Because as we head on down over into the series highlights, that looked like an absolute massacre.
I know, right? I mean, at one point, you've got this very aggressive and a very dynamic setup from Global Esports, but on the other hand, EXO were just trying to keep up with them. I think things might have been very different if EXO started on the attacking side, because then Global Esports would have been the ones who played reactively. But yeah, I think that's what went wrong for the side of Team EXO. They were trying to react to what Global Esports are doing. Unfortunately, they forgot to do their own thing in the process. I've never seen Team EXO play super passively whenever they're on the defensive side. They
Yeah.
usually do pushes towards A long when they don't see any action. They also push in towards C long when they don't see any action. None of that came through. They were trying to preemptively rotate, which is nice. That's some initiative that you can take. But that's retrospective, okay? I mean, not retrospective, sorry, that's reactive. And when you're doing all of that, you're just giving Global Esports what they want. They want you to rotate preemptively. They want to get inside your heads and make you overthink, sometimes just make mistakes. But then there are also rounds where there are 3 people of Team EXO on the A side, a massive stack, but Global still wins. Like at that point, you really can't do much. You're stacking a side, but you're still unable to hold it, and Global Esports just crack it like an egg. At that point, there's really not much that you can do. It's just brute force at this point. Strategically, Team EXO did everything correctly. The rotations were nice, but what's the point of it when Global Esports are still able to shoot you in the head?
Honestly, do you know what I loved most about the composition coming on down through from the side of Global Esports? They absolutely, in a way, mastered, like literally mastered the strategy of the breach and jet combination on the side of Haven. Initially, we did see them use this quite a lot when we consider the invitationals and also back during the challenger series. They were trying to implement this as much as they could in every single map, but now that they have mastered it, they've fine-tuned the strategy to the point where they can execute it perfectly. Being able to use a breach and a jet combination against the sky and a jet, which is a lot more easier to employ, this just goes to show how much growth the side of Global Esports have, how much they have grown, sorry, in the past couple of months. The way that they were finally able to understand this composition, that finally they were able to crack this egg open, just goes to show that they've been growing as a team quite heavily. And every other team, they have to be scared about them. And finally, they're going to be able to take back that number 1 position for themselves. But at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, talking about the number 1 spot, let's head on down over into the group standings and see the side of Global Esports once again take the number 1 spot and take back their throne here.
Number
Ah,
one. I
number
don't
one
know.
indeed.
I mean, both the teams have a similar number of wins. Both Global Esports and EXO have won 4, lost 1. But then EXO don't have as many map wins as Global. And this is such a massive jump too. Global was sitting on the 4th position before the start of this day. Now they're on number 1. They skipped ahead of Force One, they skipped ahead of Valor and EXO in the process of doing this.
Way that they were able to make this jump, though, is quite incredible as well when you consider how much they were struggling initially on the first initial day going up against Valor. But Valor, they played it very admirably, but at the same time, when you consider the score points here, ladies and gentlemen, Universe, I want your thoughts. The fact that Team EXO and Team Valor, and also the side of Force One, they're pretty much neck and neck. So this next match will break apart the entire Titans, and I have no idea how the standings are going to be shifting on.
Yeah, I think that this table is pretty much how we expected it to be. Right now, this is exactly, I think, what we might just see towards the end of the season, unless there is a shift of points in the bottom half. But the top half, I think these 4 are going to be the teams, because a clear showing of things. You can see that I don't think any other team from the bottom 4 are going to be catching up to them, not even Team Cohesion, because they have just 2 matches left, Cohesion. And the max points they can accumulate is 8. And I don't think that Force One or Valor or EXO or Global are going to lose any more of their matches. Even if they do, I think they're still clear, just because of the fact that, they've got only 1 loss in their favor. Global have got 2 matches left. EXO has got 2 matches left. Everyone's played about 5 matches, and we're heading towards the latter end of the season, where we've got the last few matches left and to see who exactly is going to be progressing towards the playoffs. It's definitely going to be interesting, but I'm more interested to see who's going to come out on top. Is it going to be Global to maintain that position? Or, like you said, who's going to break up the Titans? Somebody going to break up Global Esports again, like how Valor did? We're going to have to wait and find out.
That's for sure. Because honestly, the entirety of the Gauntlet Season 2, ladies and gentlemen, has been a story of the underdogs. And I'm really hoping, like, I have my fingers crossed because I personally love an underdog story. Who doesn't love an underdog story? I'm pretty sure you guys do as well. So I'm really hoping that that storyline is what takes us through the entirety of the Gauntlet, not just here on the group stages, but also in the playoffs, because that's where the real spicy action is going to be starting. Because then is going to be where the real fun usually does begin as well, ladies and gentlemen. But for now, this is all that we have for you for today. But before we do sign on off, make sure to check all the links down below in the description because we've got a lot of spicy deals as well set up by our sponsors. So if you're looking for a WA Black SSD or a new processor that I'm going to be getting soon myself, make sure to check out the links down below in the description. Get yourself that next big upgrade and get yourself ready for the next Gauntlet season as well. Because if you want to compete, make sure your hardware is not the thing that's holding you back. But for now, it's going to be your boy Aggressive, joined by Crips and Universe, signing on off. And we're going to be back with you tomorrow with the LG Ultragear TEC Gauntlet Season 2, powered by WD Black and Ryzen Radio.